40 years. All right. It's 10:30. You're listening to WPFW Washington.
Oh yes, my brothers and sisters, this is a message unto you all. Oh Lord, tell me what is going on in this society. Tell me what is happening to our society. Take a little walk down the road, and what do I see? Just pure poverty, oh Lord. Just pure poverty, oh Lord. Take a little stroll all over town, and what do I see? Oh Lord. Just brutality, oh Lord. Just insanity, oh Lord. No, is it because of the pressures of life? But there is so much strife for me in my walk. From day to day, it's just a struggle to survive. The bills to be paid and the kids to be fed. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh Jah, tell me what is happening in this society. There is that brutality, oh Jah. There is that insanity. Tell me what is going on in our society. From everywhere we try, still can get nowhere. Seems I ain't got no words in the land of my birth. Man, I sing in the land of my Babylon. You got to mash up the righteous name. I don't know what to say, backbiter wouldn't know. Don't know what to say, backbiter wouldn't know. If you try to live good, backbiter fight you. Try to live right, backbiter hate you. Don't know what to say, backbiter wouldn't know. They put a fight on you. They put a fight against you. Oh, me, I don't know what to say, Mr. Wicked wouldn't know. Don't know
Bring down them scatter. Can't you see the musical ambassador is getting hotter and hotter? All kind of people come and dance, bang with it. All kind of people come and dance. Cause some come in at the dance by one dragon. Them buy it from 9 until 1:30. All kind of people come and dance, bang with it. All kind of people come and dance. But Sicilian, you must see want discipline. Sicilian, you must see want discipline. Cause Jackie Lynch is just a swimming at the rhythm. Sharon, I must see twang, you the twang. Come me say all kind of people come and dance, bang with it. All kind of people come and dance. Cause some come in at the dance just to hear me DJ. I live for me lyrics by the very next day. But pity them don't know me sweeter than a bunch of grape. Feel me lyrics to the people coulda never escape. All kind of people come and dance, bang with it. All kind of people come and dance. Better than them, better than them, better than them. Rougher than them, rougher than them, rougher than them. Tougher than them, tougher than them, tougher than them, Christian than them, Christian than them, Christian than them. All kind of people come and dance, bang with it. All kind of people come and dance. Me a visa dry land tourist. Sicilian you must be warm discipline. Sharon must be twang, you the twang.
Oh yes, my brothers and sisters, this is a message unto you all. Oh Lord,
the start of the musical ambassador, otherwise known as Trevor Elliott, back in what year, Trevor?
1979, boss. And I want to say good evening to all your listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Good night to all my peeps in the chat room, and happy retirement to Mr. Vaughn that went before me. When he mentioned people like Rex Nettleport, you know, those names bring back memories to me because I worked at Jazz for years.
He hasn't retired, and he's just celebrating 40 years. He retired from his old job at the OAS, but he's still here. 40 years celebrating his 40th year, which is the same year the station started 40 years ago. So Vaughn is still very active. Still, I love his program. Very interested, very informal. And by the way, I am on One Harmony Radio in London. So good morning, London. And I had to check to make sure everything is set. All right. So Trevor, you're based where now?
In Gainesville, Florida, up in the northern part of the state, closer to Jacksonville. I'm kind of right in the middle between Orlando, Tampa, and Jacksonville. It's the home of the University of Florida. Go Gators.
You know, one would think when you say Florida, everybody connected with reggae music is in the Fort Lauderdale area, right?
Yes,
but you're not.
South Florida is the mecca of reggae music, and I was down in South Florida last weekend to get a little R&R before school started up again, and met a lot of the luminaries down there. Had a great time.
Now, this was one of your early artists, Eddie Fitzroy, who left us, I think, was it last year?
No, this year.
This year. All right, this is his, to me, I don't know, we'll talk about it when we come back, but to me, this was his big hit.
She tougher than a raw. She don't like to stay at home, living on dependency. She says she have to struggle out there, just like a man you see. She's a precious woman, Princess Love. She always say, she tougher than a raw. Anything that is progressive, she always in a bag. She works from 8 to 4 to keep her youth them alive. She's a precious woman, Princess Love. My brothers and my sisters, Africa is calling her children. Oh, we have to go and fight for motherland. Oh, Zimbabwe and South Africa too. We have to go and fight for motherland. Marcus say, children of Israel, yes, you have to go and fight for motherland. And we don't want no more of that situation. Antagonistic powers have to go. Revelation. Hurry, right on now. As Jerry Butler used to say.
Now, these were some of your early artists. I'm just sort of going through them. Harris Martin, Eddie Fitzroy, a couple more there that I played. These were 79. How you got into producing music, by the way?
Well, I worked at the Jamaica Information Service, and we used to have a little 50-minute program called the Jamaica Connection. Now, the Jamaica Connection would read community bulletin and spice it up with some reggae music, preferably message music that pertained to the announcement that we just read. I was the producer of the program. come to the bottom of Orange Street down at Miss Passenger every Thursday and drive all the way up to Sonic Sound. Make every stop in between to get music for the show. Sugar Minot was a very good friend of mine, and rest in peace, Sugar Minot, because he was one of my mentors. He gave me a cut of the Storm rhythm. He asked me if there's anything in the stable that I would like. And for me to say, give me a cut of that, which was well used by then. Tristan Palmer, Splifty, Liquor John was on it. But, that gave me a start, and it was a mixed track. It wasn't like a 4-track where the tracks are separated. So I transferred it to an 8-track tape, dove on some Kete Jum and Latikazang, put some melodic on it, and I've got General Plow, which is a youth that came from Barbican. He used to sing on a song called Creation, run by Staffy. And Staffy was so helpful to me in the formative years because he gave me an idea of some of the rhythms that are really popular in the dancehall that I could lick over. And while I'm bigging up Booger Mine, I'd have to big up Enos Musta McLeod, who gave me a cut of the quarter pound of Aishin's rhythm that I put Joseph Cotton, formerly known as Jawalton, and, General Plow on it. And that was my first grassroots hit because it was during the 80 election and both PMP and JLP I played and I threw a word against them one another,
I didn't know you had music that was involved with in politics in Jamaica, man.
Well, when I'm string out before the speaker, them come, them have them sound system, them have play a certain tune. So, backbiter, I don't know what to say backbiter wouldn't do. You try to do right, backbiter fight you, you know what I mean? So, that's where it go.
So you moved to the United States, what year?
I moved to the United States in 1984 because I had 2 sons that preceded me to the United States, and I didn't want another man raising my youth. So, I told Eddie it's going to be tough. I will try and see if I can work something out while I'm away. But when you come to the States, you can't tell a man say he's a record producer and nothing on come in. You have to get a job and assimilate yourself into the society and be productive, So I started working and send back money when I could and, took a hiatus. And if I said to myself, if I wanted to get back in the business, I'm going to know a little bit about the business aspect of it. I set up my own publishing company because a lot of these kids nowadays, they want to sing, but they don't want to do the paperwork and they don't want to get their works documented properly. And you have to do that before you even walk out of the studio because, later on, man going to say, why, I never know that you say, and me give you a little money and buy 2 shirts and all them things there for you. So that have to come out of your royalties. So, encourage all the youths nowadays who want to go get into this beautiful, challenging business to get your stuff accredited,
And that is what happened to the early musicians and singers when our music developed because the Cox and Dad, they did all the paperwork, but the singers, the makers of the music, they didn't. Now, let's face it, there are producers who still living good of those of the back of those early, ska, rock steady, early reggae music performers and singers. And so now some of them are waking up and they're doing the right thing. Is that a costly thing to get all those paperwork together? Do you need a lawyer? How do you go about that? For anyone who's listening.
Preferably, you have to get a copyright lawyer who specializes in things like that because you have statutes of limitation that, after a certain time, you can't claim certain things. But what is happening now, the hurtful part is that people or I don't want to call any name, but certain people who have acquired certain companies are sub-publishing people's work and crediting other people who, it's questionable whether they wrote the material or not. And they are getting credit. And I had a discussion with a gentleman who is in your audience this afternoon. And one thing is missing in the Jamaican business aspect of reggae is nobody leaves an estate behind to kind of, oversee their royalties or collect money on their behalf. So all of that money, especially when somebody dies, like a Hugh Mundell or a Lax de Castell, people are collecting money and putting it in their pocket, and that's a crime.
My goodness. So your advice is to make sure you get a good copyright lawyer, leave somebody to control your estate, and it sounds like a lot, but it sounds like this is something that one has to do. Because, I talk with Fitzroy Francis from Mightyful 13 all the while, and he gives me a lot of insight about what one has to do to make sure they get returns for the hard work they do. So what you're telling me here is not something I'm hearing for the first time. But I want to get into, but it's good for any young aspiring artist who is listening to seek good advice. Carl Malcolm, made three, who lives right here in the area, made three big hits for him in the 70s. And he is still collecting royalties because the right thing was done by him back in those days. All right, so...
Well, let me interject for a second and tell you about Hilton Beckford. Hilton Beckford, along with Trevor Wilson, who is Delroy Wilson's brother, wrote the Johnny Too Bad, and that has been versioned about 80 times, okay? It's like everybody cut their teeth in reggae on The Harder They Come. And, he's going through some issues because, publishing change and some people get reassigned and all that stuff. But if you copyright your material, and the easiest form of copyrighting a song, Sir T, is to type it up on a piece of paper. And don't put it in an envelope. Address it to yourself so you can have a date stamped by the post office to guarantee that you are the copyright owner.
Say that again, because that's the first time I'm hearing this.
Okay, ask your sister, your friend, your girlfriend, or whatever, to type up the lyrics on a foolscap paper. Do not fold that and put it in an envelope, because the envelope is going to have the stamp and the post office stamp. Address that piece of paper to yourself, and then you will have the stamp and the date on it when that was done, and you have that to show perpetually, which means forever, that you are the owner.
Wow. Little tricks of the trade. All right, so you took a break, you said, from the music. I first learned about you last year through, I think Fitzroy Francis told me about you, but also Marlon Burrell sent me one or two of your songs, and I think it was the Sugar Minot album. And then I guess since that time we have made the connection, and I just want to go through some of your present music that you sent me. And you also have a couple Washington, D.C. artists with you, Jojo Mack and Monsoon. So let me run some of these music done by the musical ambassador.
Oh, try again in another life. Oh, could cry me a river, but you
an agenda, cause I see how you pretend. You act like you are amazing. Everything I do, you're praising. Always, you're my first responder. But now I know you're undercover. I see you. You are a pretty my heart cries out for a for I found you the love of my life in somebody else's arms. Your eyes are echoing perfume.
The more you live, the more you learn. Yeah, man. Take a look what I go on around the world. Look at yourself. Things just change up, Rasta. Everything just change up like this. You know that one? In times like these, not even God can please. For all the innocent people where you bleed. In times like this, new leadership power we need. Can enough of them don't know how to lead. In times like this, I'd rather be in the West Indies. Full joy, the cool breeze, burning trees. In times like this, them say work hard, you will achieve. But not enough of them don't believe. Yo, what take a look around from the country to the town. No one wants to stay black, them wanna be brown. In the middle of the day, before sundown. Half we have gun sound, people get gunned down. Police confused.
Have you ever been outside when the rain is falling? In the rain, in the cold and stormy night. Have you ever been outside when the rain is falling? In the rain, in the cold and stormy night.
Washington, D.C. zone, although she lives in Philadelphia, she started her career right here in Washington, D.C. We used to call her Goldilocks. And this is a big one for you and her, right?
Yeah, obviously, I had the rhythm laid, a little ways back, and how I met JoJo Mack is that while I was doing the Sweet Like Sugar project, she read some entertainment information for some syndicated radio programs, and she reached out to me. She had read a report or a article that came out in the Jamaican Observer, really outlining the Sweet Like Sugar project, and she reached out to me, and she said she'd want to do a good thing going, and I said, "You are lucky, sweetheart, it's available." And we have gone from strength to strength. We're working on an album that will be out early next year called Blueprint, and that one is gonna be killer.
Have you ever been outside when the rain is falling? In the rain, in the cold and stormy night.
How did you hook up with Monsoon, who is another DC artist?
Well, I hooked up with Monsoon through Cousy Millers, one of a mutual friend of ours, and he sent me the track, and I mixed the track here in Gainesville at a studio called Skylabs with Mr. Jerry King. I call him the King of Kings because himself and Damien Kesey. Now, Damien Kesey is a gentleman out of Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, who lick all of my rhythm them. So 99.9% of the rhythm them were in at the musical ambassador stable. Damien Kesey play live bass and meticulously put the rest of the orchestration together. So big up, Mr. Kesey. You're the best in the business.
I love the the beats that you have. Now, another friend of mine who has a song that is doing so well for her. This is Twiggy.
Baby, 1, 2, 3, you and me. Come into my world. Let me show you, boy, how to treat this girl. Tell you what to do. If you have some fear, think this through. My love is stuck on north. You must be done for now.
Let me ask you, man, how is this song doing, man? Everybody seems to love this song.
Well, this song is doing very well for Twiggy right now. You know, she had the duet with Siddiqui, and we reckon that she needed something to stand out on her own. And I did over the Sharon rhythm, the whole Leroy Smart Channel 1 days. And she knocked it out of the park. She's such a wonderful individual. And, you know, she does her own backup vocals, and she did some amazing lead vocals on this one. I first worked with Twiggy when I was working on the Palace program. She did background vocals on the Steve Knight track, and also on the African Sledge in Addis Awar. So I've worked with Twiggy on and off for the last couple of months, and we're family, so I don't think this is going to be the last time you hear Twiggy and the musical ambassador hooking up, you know?
I read on Facebook a couple times where you posted that this song was named by a gentleman in England the Song of the Month. What is that all about?
Well, Dave West is a gentleman, a radio personality that lives in England that, contacted me basically in the same way you did, saw me online and sent me a message, and, one thing led to another. Now, Dave West, I think he has two shows, one on, I might be wrong, but one on Tuesday and one on Wednesday. The show on Wednesday is for a couple hours, so you have enough time to play whatever you want to play. And he adopted Come In as a song of the month for July. And, to create history, he extended that into the month of August as well. So, I'm so gracious. Sir Dave, we have knighted him. His name is Dave West, but we have knighted him Sir Dave West in honor of the contribution that he's making to the company.
It's 11 o'clock and you're listening to WPFW. This is Reggae Music. I'm Tony. My special guest tonight is Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador from Gainesville, Florida. And we're just talking and sharing some of his music that he has sent me. I'm sure there's a ton load that I haven't heard yet, but I'm a patient man. He will send me the good stuff. Hint, hint. Anyhow, again, I want to welcome those of you who are listening online on WPFWFM.org, globallinksradio.com, and One Harmony Radio for the first time tonight, early morning in London.
Like the skies above, when I show you love.
You walked into the room, then everything changed. I felt a certain pull, boy, you had me there. It's that energy that makes me feel a kind of way. I can't deny, oh boy, no words for me to say. Ooh, ooh, I have to get to know you more. I need to get to know you, boy. I think I know you from another life. I see familiarity in your eyes.
Oh, dance on, my good old days. Oh, I remember dance songs and all the songs that used to play. Oh, yeah, from early in the morning until next day. We never worry about no crime. We party all the time. Oh, I remember dance halls in the good old days. Now when a big son a play, oh na 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 na. I just love how you're making me feel.
You know that I love this rhythm, right?
Obviously, sir, because you've been playing the heck out of it.
Hey, let me tell you, man. This rhythm, the Far East rhythm, has been recorded from Joe Gibbs. How many different people have recorded and does over the years you can think of?
Well, I know Jammy's licked it a couple of times before, and like you said, Joe Gibbs. Too numerous to mention, Tony. This is one of those iconic rhythm that anytime you play this in a dancehall, it's like Sata Masagana. You're going to hear 10, 15 version of the same rhythm, you know what I mean?
But you did, and this is the same brother down in St. Elizabeth who put this rhythm together for you.
Yeah, but this one went a little bit further because Jerry Johnson, who is up in the Bronx,
great saxophonist.
Yeah, great. I have Dean Fraser and Jerry Johnson. You can't get any better than that, you know what I mean? He added the instrumental version, East of the River Ganges, and added some little keyboard riffs. And Cousy Mellors, who is on the rhythm, added some little keyboard riffs. So it was it was too much to really mention, so we had to cut and carve and put some things on the floor that didn't really make the fine cut. But in the end, the rhythm is so smooth. When you have a darling lady like a Moye out of Canada, she's a nominee for the Juno Award. We have Blessed, who is a Juno Award winner. So I'm crossing over the border. I hear the song say, "Can't cross the border." Well, the musical ambassador have crossed over into Canada and get some of the biggest and brightest artists to record for him, you know.
Boy, Mr. Line, I want to come like a heavy load, you know, boy. I'm telling like a Carr and draw chop. I'm going to make them out for broke. Walk me now. Whoa, I can't stand it. Like them out for mad way. Whoa, I can't stand it. I Bellevue this boy.
It's hurting inside.
All over.
This feeling again.
Them a chat with.
Ever since you've been gone,
Them know we business.
hard for me to carry on. Yeah.
Why you live up door?
I can't stand it.
No way.
I can't stand it. Everybody get ready. Hear what the man say? Stop the rock steady. Yo. It's rubber dub time again. Don't you lose the beat now. Yo. Just get your feet, yeah. It's rubber dub time again. You hear the crowd say, boom, yo, ba ba boom, boom. I say, boom, boom, yo, rubber dub boom, boom, yeah, boom, boom, ba ba boom, boom. I say, boom, boom, rubber dub boom, la 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 ya ba ya yeah. Oh yeah. I swear I'll give you every little thing you need. I swear I moved the mountain just for you. I swear I'll tell you the truth. Only you that I believe in. Oh yes, only you.
Everybody come for the all I bring. Mr. DJ, let's play it on the radio. I'm making big tunes, I push through them stereo. Yo, we'll play it on the radio. I'm making big tunes, I push through them stereo. Yo, I'm Mr. Easy Operator, Mr. Easy. Love the way you play the brand new pre-releases. Love the way you pull up the track, then repeat it. Songs you will play, you know the people them feel it. Tune up here next me well.
Now this is the London connection. Bucket John, how you got it? How you started working with them? How you got in touch with them? They send me music also. What's the connection there with them and Musical Ambassador?
Well, Tony, about 2 years ago, Harry Martin, one of my original artists who lives in Canada, lives in Toronto, he was in London and he called me and he said, you know, Bonnie Lila, I would like to talk to you because he would like initially to rehash some of those Roots Radics rhythm that I had laid back in the 80s. And I said, that's a win-win situation for the both of us because, you know, it's sitting there, you know, not doing anything. So that's how we started. We had something on the Going Home rhythm, which I had done with Baba and Dave for that project. He himself on Queen of the Empress is on the Come On Home rhythm, which is part of the Sweet Like Sugar project. So that's how we started. And it just materialized and got bigger and bigger. Obviously, our first number one was Baba Boom, and last year I was down in Jamaica for the festival. It was the 40th anniversary of Rocksteady, and, you know, the Baba Boom was just kicking up a storm. I saw Tommy Cowan, and the first thing he asked me is, how is the publishing going? And I say, have you
He want to know the money part of it.
Yeah. I say, have you covered, man? Part of Florida and thing, because that's something that I don't mess around with, Tony. I have quite a few cover versions, and the first thing I do, I go to the Halifax agency and secure the mechanical rights for it. That in case of anything, I have documented proof that at least if it sell over what I had signed up for, we can always renegotiate and give them a few more shekels. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. If you if you're using copyrighted material, you have to pay the piper.
And because Tommy Cowan, the song was originally done by his group, the Jamaicans.
Yeah, written by Fitzweir and Tommy Cowan.
Right. So I can understand why he asked about the publishing.
Yeah, but me and Tommy go way back, you know, so that was in
I know it was a joke.
Yeah, that was in jest. Because him know some in a ramp with people things. I'm gonna like people ramp with my things because I'm my blood, sweat and tears. Me the independent producer. I'm not aligned to any label. Well, if you can say now that I'm with Sony put out the Sweet Like Sugar album, put out the Vernon Maytone Money Worry single, and we'll be releasing the refreshed, the Vernon Maytone album and the blueprint by Jojo Max early next year.
Of course, this is the great Dean Fraser. You know, when you send me this music, I don't know what the name of this rhythm is.
This rhythm?
Yeah.
Answer my question.
Answer the question. All right.
Answer my question. The answer was really given to it by Lone Ranger when he did it for Studio One. But you know, and I know, Mr. Tony, that you know, when man cut dub and them have sound clash and all them things, they don't put the name of the rhythm, the original name of the rhythm on it. Like a Rockford Rock or something like that, and put a fictitious name. But by over time now, one, you know, DJ saying answer, you know, the name stick, and that become answer. So you have Dean Fraser going solo on this one, and you know, I can't talk about Dean Fraser without mentioning the late Number Robinson, who is a tandem that I've used since the early 80s, you know.
"13 minutes after 13 minutes after 11 o'clock. Once again, I want to welcome those of you who are listening for the first time in London, England, early morning. One Harmony Radio in London, Global Links Radio. I've been with for quite a long time, and of course, WPFW FM. Well, I have saved what I think is the best for the last 60 minutes of this program. I wanted to introduce this because this might be one of the first times Vernon Maytone beautiful CD is being played on the air in the States. What's the name of this CD that you're going to put out with Vernon Maytone?
You are so correct, sir. You are in esteemed company now, playing this album as a pre-release. This album is going to be big, and I'm not saying that because I'm the producer, but Vernon Maytone is a veteran that's been around since the 60s. And I call him Mr. Evergreen because he's just getting better and better and better. Like fine wine, he just gets better with age. This album is going to have about 12 or 13 tracks. So you're getting a bargain at $9.99 wherever you buy it. We have a single from it that was released just a couple of days ago, August 14th, called Money Words. It's a remake of the monster hit that he did for Mr. GG, Mr. Alvin Wranglin back in the day. And like I said, you're going to hear some rhythms. He's on the Shankai Shek rhythm, he's on the Answer rhythm, he's on the Baba Boom rhythm, he's on the Can I Change My Mind rhythm. So these are staple rhythms from the dancehall. So when you pick up this CD and you keep your little party, Queen of the Minstrel, I mean, you name it. We just finished one name, Everybody on the Everybody Ballin' rhythm, which was done by the late Brenda and the
All right, let's listen to a couple cuts from it in a medley form.
Ay, 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 ay. I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. Ay, 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 ay. I'm on the worries. I'm on the trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. Anywhere you go, it's the same cry. Money worries. Money worries. Money worries. Money trouble. To have a comfortable place of rest or a nice car to drive. Anything talking about love, true love, real love. Yes, I talk about love, 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 but they don't know the meaning. Some I talk about love, 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 but they don't know the meaning. Love is not a joking matter. Love is an article treasure that should be taken seriously. Talking about love, true love, real love. Yes, I'm a talk about love. I would a cap fit well, yeah. I would a cap fit well, yeah. Truth and right, yeah. Jerks. This song dedicated to all jerks. We jerks. This song dedicated to all jerks. Boy. And jerks that come in all shapes and form. From their action you can stop fight against your brothers. Stop the fighting. Don't fight against your sisters. Too much blame I go round. Too much blame I go round.
You know, I was it last October? He's a good friend of my brother Howard's church Carr. I don't know if you know my brother.
Well, you know, we're creating some kind of sibling rivalry now, because anytime you get something from Vernon Mayton and him don't get it, it's a brouhaha going over in Canada with him and Vern.
But guess what? The man and I mean my brother, him live less than 15 minutes from this brother. Me live about 10 hours driving. If me can get music from him have to get up and do the work. Me do the work. That's the difference.
Well, Tony, you are a people person. You know, you're well connected in my youth. So you make the effort. You reach out to me and say, wow, how come me here, son? Wow, how come me not get it yet? I said, boy, me want to know Papa Tony. As soon as me finish me, I will send it. And I was true to my word, wasn't I?
Yes, sir. And I've been getting good music. And, you know, I almost forget the tribute to Sugar Miner. I have to get in a couple of that. And when is the CD going to be released? Vernon Mayton.
October. We're going to let the Money Warriors kind of jet a little bit with you and a couple other DJs kind of teasing the album. By the time it come out in October, it'll be a household name, you know?
October. All right, so we have time to do an interview with him. You know, I was telling you, I spent a couple hours with Vernon in his beautiful studio, man. And he has a very nice studio down there in the basement of his house. He played some music for me. As a matter of fact, Vernon, if you're listening, I'm still waiting on a Glenn Washington. I heard a wicked Glenn Washington. Now, how did you and Vernon get together?
Okay. I have a good friend that is on CHUO FM on Saturdays from 12 to 2 in the afternoon. His name is Papa Richie. I met Papa Richie in London in 1982, and we've been friends ever since. Him come to Jamaica, I can't go tough down, I can't run a tubbies. Show him around, introduce him to all the movers and shakers in Jamaica. Mikey Dread when he was alive, when he was still on the radio. Now, Mikey and Vern are very, very good friends, and he introduced me to Vern, and the rest is history, because Vern, you don't get more professional than Vern, because he's been through the ropes. He knows exactly how the business runs. So we're working together as a team. Everything is 50-50 split down the middle. So, he trusts me, I trust him explicitly. So there's no, backdoor dealings or somebody never know or so that I go. So we have this great relationship. I get a rhythm, send it go game, and by 2-3 days later, I'm send me a demo. I say, file it down my youth, which means just get rid of the little rough edges and send it back, and me mix it, and it's done.
Vernon Maytone. By the way, they had 3 nights of their big Montreal International Reggae Festival just finished. I was listening to it yesterday. My brother station carried it live both days, yesterday, tonight. I heard Etana tonight and Pressure Bus Pipe, and so they're doing good things. I don't know if Vernon has ever been on that festival, but
well, Vernon lives right here in Montreal, so
I know
it would be a miracle if he's not. I think he said he was going to be on it this year, but Vernon tours so much that there might be conflicts in his schedule. That's the only reason why I would imagine that he wouldn't be on it.
He was telling me a story about why is it that some veteran artists are so popular in the West Coast, but nobody will hire them in the East Coast. What do you think?
Very simple, Tony. It's the fact that the West Coast, time has stood still. They're not into the dancehall foolishness and the digital foolishness. They want the original rubber dub with live musician playing the instrument. It's as simple as that. So the East Coast is more of a younger generation. And I tell you, you as an artist, you have to really make up your mind and figure out which audience you're going to try to cater your music to. Because West Coast artists, Eddie Fitzroy was a case in point. Eddie Fitzroy is big over, into the Los Angeles, the San Francisco, San Diego area, and he is almost like a forgotten man on the East Coast.
I was talking to Keith and Tex last week, and they said the same thing. They're very popular on the West Coast. And I guarantee you, if you were to talk about, mention those people to some East Coast promoters, just say, who them? So
yeah, I mean.
But your explanation is good.
Yeah, the East Coast, Europe, Hawaii, those are kind of the hotbed for reggae music right now. And I don't know. Like I said, I think I know the idea or the wherewithal behind it is that the East Coast go with a more hype thing and the upbeat stuff and the roots and culture, which is basically the foundation of the music is more palatable on the West Coast.
I was trying to locate the Sugar Minor tribute CD, but it will take me some time, and I'm quickly running out of time. It's 11:25. My special guest is Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador. How could you have a website? How can people get in touch with Trevor Elliott?
Well, there's a number of ways, Tony. They can get on my Facebook page, which I have 2 Facebook pages. One is private and one is public, because the public side has been taken over by the Jamaican African reggae community, and I don't mind sharing information. If I see something that's edible and entertaining and informative, I will repost it on my site. Now, if you want to purchase like CDs and vinyl, the physical CD and the physical vinyl, you have to go to www.musicalambassador.com. And on my website, you have links to all of the digital stuff, which is basically, CD Baby, iTunes, the Amazon.com, Spotify, all of the reputable download sites.
So I'm going to leave you tonight with a little Far East rhythm, and I got to play Jerry one. And I tell you, man, I love this song here.
Well, Tony, if you notice anything coming out of the Musical Ambassador stable is that we love instrumental music. Okay, and we flavor it up every now and then. We put a little Dean Fraser, a little Jerry Johnson, Dean Fraser, and Damian Kesey, and that's how we do it.
You know who gave me the idea for this interview, and I have to give him credit.
I don't want to guess the name and look foolish on the ear.
Mightyful 13.
Are you kidding me? No, Mightyful 13 is one of my biggest supporters. Anything in post on Facebook, I call him the Philosopher 101 because his postings are very deep. We have like a mutual admiration society between the two of us because we are all veteran in the business. We try and do it the right way. He has some revolutionary ideas that even me as a old graybeard officer, I never thought of that. And we spoke on the phone at length up to today, so we've been in touch, and you never know, might do a little compilation down the road and, kind of show the youth them, so boy, we still have it, So Mightyful 13, I know you in the audience, big up my youth and keep it real and one love and keep teaching the youth them the right way to do it. They made stubborn and them have ideas and stick broken at the maze, but all you can do is try.
You know something? He actually, we were talking one day, and I said, something, man? It would be great. You remember, I keep asking you if you ever going to come up this side?
Yeah, eventually I have to come up this side because I want to do a little review with Jojo Mark and Twiggy and, a couple of my artists. So I don't want to overextend myself right now because I'm so deeply involved with the production aspect of it. I don't want to, water things on. But eventually, if you have a promoter up there that we can work with, have a Musical Ambassador review, I would greatly love that, sir.
I'm going to throw that around. That sounds like an idea to me. Sounds great. But he was saying, I cannot throw it out to him. I said, it would be nice that I have you, Rocky, and Trevor Elliott in the studios together, just talking and playing both of your music. And, he and his wife, because I broadcast on their radio station, globallinksradio.com, I said, let me get Trevor Elliott. And that's where that came from. And that's why you're here tonight. And we're just talking, Well, that would be monumental, to say the least, because you have a wealth of information right there across the table from you, in me and Rocky. By the way, big up to his wife, who is a bison. He's a old rattler from Florida A&M. That's where my daughter just graduated. Congratulations to Kimberlyn Elliott, just graduated from graduate school. I saw that.
And she is a beautiful human being, my boss. No trouble. And her little sister Amber is starting her senior year at Behold High School here Gainesville and getting ready to get her driver's license and move to the next level. You know what I mean? So all I want these kids to do is to be good human beings and assimilate to their standard in the society and can support themselves when these eyes are closed and gone, you know.
Trevor Elliott, the musical ambassador, I want to thank you, sir, for sharing about an hour with us. Hour's kind of short, but we try to get in as much and share your music. And of course, you know, your music is played here a lot. And just thank you for staying up.
Well, I want to thank you as well, Tony, because I can produce till the cows go home. And if I don't have an outlet for my music to get heard, it'll be fruitless. You know what I mean? And I want to thank your worldwide audience. I want to say big up to Musical Genius and One Ham on the radio, to Two Olive. All those people are really supportive of me. You see, I'm getting myself into trouble now because I start calling name Fiona, Pussy Mellors. I mean, Mr. Archer from No Choice Music, Mr. Lightborn from Bulwackies. You know what I mean? These are the people that help me and, you know, show me, because you can't think that you know it all. You know, you have to be a sponge and soak up information. That's why me and Fitzroy get along so good, because we spar, you know, we spar every now and then, and we're not see eye to eye upon everything, but in the long run, we want the betterment of the music to be in the forefront. So thank you very much, sir, and, you know, you will be getting first tips from now on. You hear me?
Yeah, man. Always, good music come my way is always appreciated. And you know, this program, Trevor, I could do like what everybody else does. Everybody play the well-known reggae, the old well-known reggae that everybody play. And I decided a couple years ago, nobody plays new reggae because they're scared of playing new reggae. Well, that's what I do here. I love to play new reggae. And you, after that, y'all can take it and go do what you want with it, because I know a lot of people listen and who claim they don't listen, but they listen because they know that I play a lot of new reggae and introduce a lot of new reggae around. So that's what I do. I play new reggae and my audience seem to love it.
Well, how can you break an artist into the musical scene if they don't get heard, if they don't get a chance?
Because
I mean, what you have to do is to be judicious and, you know, spiced up with little studio one every now and then, little treasure isle every now and then, and slip in a couple new music.
Well, what I do, come, you know, the Sunday night before Labor Day, I'll be doing nothing but ska. The last holiday, I did nothing but rock steady. And every now and then, I'll do a program featuring the old standard that what everybody know. And that's how I roll.
Yeah, and Independence, you play about half an hour to 45 minutes with the old school independent music.
Yes.
And what a tragedy it was that we didn't have any celebration. I mean, come on, man. Those are things that are entrenched in the society in Jamaica.
The minister said the quality was not good enough. I don't think so. I think it was something else. But that's how they do it. So, Trevor, let me run. I got to do some other things here. And I want to thank you so much for sharing this time with us. What good here?
Same to you, my boss. I'm out.
Trevor Elliott, otherwise known as the musical ambassador, has been my guest since 10:30. It's now 10:35. It's early morning in London, oneharmonyradio.com. Love to get feedback from you in London. And of course, globallinksradio.com and WPFWFM.org.